Hi everyone, this is Paula from Harmony, and we're just doing a quick little video tutorial for all of you out there in video land. Always start with a little sanitizer. This client's already been prepped. She already received her cuticles done and shaping is already done, so we just fast forward through that. And right now we're just going to take off the natural shine just very gently. You can use a sanding mandrel, or you can just do it quick by hand. Now, S&S Dip doesn't call or require this, I don't believe, in their directions, but it is a step that I like to do for any kind of artificial enhancements, whether you're doing acrylic or gel, because what happens to a smooth surface? Is there anything really to hold on to? So, without further ado, we just do a very light take off the shine off the natural nail. I'm just doing this by hand because I don't want to get my drill out right now. But a sanding mandrel is just fine too. Okay, that's fine. This will only take just a moment. And so one hand is done. That's how quick that was. And we're going to do the other one. Okay. And this is just prepping the nail surface so that we could get a maximum bond with the powders and the liquid, the bonding agent. Have you had dip before? Oh, okay.
Just a couple times, but
Okay.
I tried it myself at home and I didn't do this step and they came off within a week.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, so we just finished that. And I'm just going to dust off the dust here. I'm going to then go over it with some Scrub Fresh with a lint-free pad before we do our dip. And everybody, we dip and dip. That's our song for our dip. Okay, and this is just Scrub Fresh with a lint-free pad. I'm going to take off any dust off of the nail. And actually I see a few little frayed edges, and that's okay. It'll come off later in the buffing, but since I see them, I'm going to just take that off now. And that's the opportunity for some resin and powder to stick to that and make funky little edges on there that I later have to file and buff anyway. Let's see, like that one. Okay. All right, so we got that done, and then our next step is dip, everybody. Okay, so I'm starting with a natural set, and because we're doing some color, and this is the natural set is really fine and very thin, so it doesn't really put much of a surface. It just helps to bond and to keep any colors from staining the nail as well. So we're being really careful. We're polishing on. I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch in the back. Now, I'm really careful with my dip. If you're not too careful with your super gel base, then you might leak it into and then dip and tap, just like that. You might get it into the crease, into the cuticles, and then you have a real problem. You're going to have to drill that out later. So we're making sure that I'm getting good coverage. Okay, so we have prepped the nail. We've taken all the shine off the natural nail. The manicure was already done prior to this. And I took my file and I used this is a 180 over 400, and I did use the 100 side, which is more gritty, and I just very lightly took the shine off. You can kind of see they're now matte, and now I'm applying our super gel base after I cleansed, after I did brushed off the powder with a nail brush, and then I did a cleansing with a lint-free pad and Scrub Fresh. Now we're applying our super gel base, and we're being very careful not to put too much product on. Very thin layer, and you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch, which is very small, maybe 1/16 of an inch, but 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 around. You want to get as close to the cuticle as possible without actually touching the skin or the sidewalls, because if you do, now any product you dip in is going to be on there as well, and you have a real problem because you're going to have to drill that off later, and that also can cause premature lifting. So you see this is very quick. We're just doing a thin layer of the natural set because this helps to prep the nail. It keeps any colors from staining. It doesn't really give you a lot of build or thickness. It's a super thin layer because the natural set is super thin. Dip and tap. Okay, see, very simple. We're now going to repeat these steps on the second hand. And then we're going to take a brush and brush off any excess powder before we continue dipping. And what we typically will do here is we will have one layer of we have one layer of natural set followed by 2 layers of color. And then we will do a final natural set on top, especially if you're doing any kind of glitter or anything like that that's chunky, because you do need to get that powdered in and sealed in, because it creates a very rough surface. Even though we're going to do 2 coats of our red cap, which is our our base, we're going to use the red cap. We're using our S&S dip, which the benefits of S&S are just wonderful. At the end, we're going to use our super shine gel top, and there's also a super jealous base, which both of these are used in different ways. You can refer to the manufacturer's directions or find out what works best for you. I happen to like the red cap super shine gel top because it has a thin viscosity. It does dry completely like it says within just a few minutes after the second coat. The purple cap, which is the super jealous base, it is thicker and it has different applications that you can do with that. But I would refer to your manual, and if you don't have one of those, you can order one of those, like this one here. We actually had this made from the online PDF. We made the book. So, and it has all the instructions for your dip. And remember to sing your song when you do your dip. Now we dip and dip. So, okay. Okay. Alright. That is how we put on the first coat. It's very simple, very easy, very quick. Voila. And now we're going to lightly brush using an old acrylic brush, because this will ruin your brushes. Do not use your favorite acrylic brush. You actually may get glue on it and it's ruined forever. So we're just taking off the dust. Very important to do, especially when you're doing colors, because when you dip and you get into the next color, if you're doing any kind of multiple layers, that goes right into that powder, and that's a problem. Now we're going to do this client has chosen to do, we're actually using Glam and Glitz, which you can use to dip, and today we're doing our Fire Red as a pop nail, and we're doing all silver nails with S&S Graceful Swans, and that is from the Bird of Paradise collection. It's really pretty silver glitter. It's kind of chunky, excellent fun stuff. And here we go. So now we're just going to put our next layer on.
This is the base.
And we tap off. with the glitter, sometimes you get like these little pieces on the side, you know. And what I like to do is I'll tap with my hand to get those to lay flat so they're not sticking straight up, because it makes it harder later to seal them in, because these have tiny little round glitters in there. Well, actually mylar, round mylar glitter. And I do like to roll these a little bit so everything's mixed really well. Red, red, correct, okay. Okay. So remember to gently tap, because I'm flattening out any larger pieces of glitter so the next dip goes really well and smooth. It doesn't create them to be overly thick, and it's going to be a much better look. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to do both hands, but I will just show one hand, and then we'll pause and I'll come back for the finishing touches. And also I'm checking the edges, and if there's any little mylar sticking out, I'll just kind of get those now before they set and dry that way. So that hand is essentially done. I'll go over it a second time, and for educational purposes, we will pause now and come back. Yeah. Okay, we're back. We finished the second hand, and guess what? Repeat of brushy do here, and we're just going to brush down and take off any little excess before we dip again, because if you don't, then you get all of this on your brush and it goes right into your base gel. Isn't that fun? Okay, we're going to do that. Okay, now we're going to flip her over. Okay, and oh, we got a couple that are sticking up weirdly. Push those down. Okay. Oh, so just getting rid of any excess so we don't get this all over the place. Things are looking good. Don't be afraid to use your hand to like push stuff in place and touch it a little bit. That kind of helps your job later when you're filing, because it keeps you from having like maybe got a little piece that's sticking down or a funny little edge or something. And I'd just rather get it now than wait till later. Makes sense to me. Work smarter, not harder. And we're going to do our next layer here. And because there is glitter on here, you got to put a little more product on there so it can seep into the crevices of all the little peaks and valleys in there. And it's coming along pretty nice. Ooh, it's so nice, and it's gonna have a beautiful coverage. Are you getting jealous already? You should be, because I'm using, well, look at what these products is called. Super Jealous Base. So I hope you're jealous. Alright, that's just ba-dum-bum. A little joke for you. No extra charge for the humor today. Okay, let's get this next coat on here. Now, if you messed up on your first time around, you have a chance to redeem yourself if you didn't get full coverage or you weren't quite happy, because the second one is going to fill in all those little areas, and you can fix it if you need to. But something to know. Okay. Now, just because of the nature of like glitter, you know, it has there. It's not just powder; it's powder plus the additive of the, whether it's fine, very fine glitter or chunky glitter. So it'll make your nails have a bit more body to them. So whenever you're doing glitter. Now, I probably could have foregone the base maybe, you know, and just did that one less, but that's okay. I just like to do it because I think it sets it up pretty nicely, and protects that nail. But I think according to the directions, I'm not sure you have to do that every time. I usually do, but I'm just picky. And actually there's different ways that techs are using this product. You know, everyone's a little different. I tend to try to follow the manufacturer's directions as closely as possible. And then, you know, might you find a few little tweaks, you know, that seem to work better, you know, for a technique. But I always put a natural set clear on top when I'm done too, because I do want to do a little buffing and filing, and I don't want to file through my mylar, my glitters, my color. At least that kind of gives you an opportunity to smooth out, to, you know, contour if you need to, and you don't really need to do any heavy filing or buffing at the end unless you've created some problems. Okay, time's sake, we're going to do time lapse, and I'll do the other hand and come right back to you. Okay, and we're back. I finished a second coat on both, and guess what? Brush a do, and we're going to brush that off. Because why? Why? Because we love you. No. We're doing this because we're getting off any excess glitters, because we're about to put on a final base along with a clear Nutra base clear. I'm sorry, let me say this correctly. Our natural set. And why does it say Nutra Plus? Well, Nutra Plus, it has vitamins in the base and the liquid to strengthen your nails. So, okay. And now, here we go. And this is our final step before we seal. And make sure we get everything really good. If you get a little on the skin, just use your nail and get it right off. And we're going to do our little natural set. Very nice. Okay. Looking good, folks. Looking good. Me thinks, me likes. Okay. Now, folks, do not try this at home, as I have 500 hours of schooling to back this up and a license. So you could do it at home if you like, but why fuss when you can just come to Harmony? And voila, beautiful nails, fuss less, and enjoy beautiful salon nails. Oh, shoot. Now, if you do something like that, I just touch the edge, I can just put a little extra there. Okay. Looking really good, folks. Looking really good. Make makes me want to get some. I just took off my gel polish, and because I didn't put anything on back right away, I ended up breaking half of my nails, but I was doing heavy deep cleaning, and they did need something on there, so. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. We're going to pause now, and I'll come right back to you. All right, folks, we're back, and with the magic of video, we have completed the second hand. So we just did a single layer of gel base and a quick little dip. And guess what's going to happen now? The most exciting and fun portion. We're going to seal it. And I'm using our Nutra Super Dry Sealer. We just brush a doodle on there, just like that. And just let the client know. Oh, okay. And this helps. This makes the product set and get hard, so that we can do some buffing and put the top coat on. Is that fun, or is that fun? Okay. Everyone's a comedian. All right. And you can't see it from this angle, but this client is, one, a fabulous model, two, receiving one of our Chair Express facial bar treatments. So you can come down to Harmony and get everything done in less time. In the time it takes you to get your gel manicure, your dip, your full set, your manicure, you can also receive a fabulous and relaxing 10-minute chair massage by one of our excellent massage therapists who have anywhere between 16 and 19 years experience, followed by a fabulous and rejuvenating facial treatment right in the manicure area. It's called our facial bar treatments, and you'll be able to receive a wonderful cleansing, exfoliation, massage, and mask. So you can get more done in less time for all of you Las Vegas party goers and fun timers. You want to get it all done and get on to your dinner reservations, onto your shows, your conventions, to the nightclub. Or maybe you've had a long day, you just worked a double shift, you work on the Strip, we're just a few blocks from there, and you come in and you're like, just do everything. And in an hour, please. So we can do that for you. So yeah, I'm just putting on one more. I'm gonna let that set up for just about a minute and make sure this is nice and hard before I do a little final file on the edges, because it's still a bit soft. But we're looking pretty good, folks. I can tell it's ready by the sound it makes. It makes a little tap, slight tapping sound, like it should sound like this. Kind of very lightly like that. You can feel it when it's not so soft. I think we're ready to go. And it's about 30-60 seconds, because right now inside the layers they're still actually curing with the sealer. And you can tell if it's not ready when you go to file and it starts just crumbling and falling apart. Not a good thing. You'll have to wait a little more or apply some additional sealer. I'm going to do one hand, and then with the magic of our video, we'll time lapse. And remember, at Harmony, we will make you beautiful from head to toe. After you've been doing nails as many years as I have, 27 to be exact, and you've sure sniffed a lot of polish, not intentionally of course, but you kind of wonder what that does to your brain cells. So I don't know, I get a little loopy at times. I knew I loved this career for a reason.
Are you on live?
No, we're video recording right now. So. You too, thank you. You're not here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, we'll see you Tuesday. Have a good one. Okay, have a good one.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. All right. And I'm just doing a little final filing. You know, sometimes when you're applying that powder, you know, with your gel base and your powders, you can get a little bit that kind of, you know, it's self-leveling. So, you know, you want to check those edges. Make sure you still have the original shape that you started with, that they're not too wide. There's nothing hanging over. You have no sharp edges. And also, everything's nice and smooth. So that one's done. They're looking very beautiful. For time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just do a very light buffing. Okay, and we're going to do this here. We're going to do a little light buffing and just smooth out before we do our final top coat. Because if you don't, anything that's on that surface is just going to show right through. If you've made some mistakes and you got some gel into the cuticles, this is your time that you're going to be able to file that down, and take a drill if you need to get the edges. But you have to be very careful not to overfile and over buff, because you will start to peel away or degrade your surfaces, and then you may have to apply some more liquid or some powder. So do be very careful here. Alright, and then what we do, I'm going to cleanse the dust off of here with a lint, well, first with a brush, and then I'm going to use a lint-free pad. Usually we can send them over to the sink to clean and wash, but since the client's getting a facial, I'm just going to use a little alcohol and a brush and just clean that right up, get that dust out of there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to I'm going to do a little water. Which I can't find, and that's okay, because we can just use this cleanser. So I need to put on one more layer of sealer, then we're going to have them washed and finish with a top coat. So let's just go ahead and just do the sealer, because this helps the top coat to harden and like it's supposed to and dry. And then I'm just going to use a little water to cleanse, and you just have them rinse with water to take off any dust. So I will get that right now. Okay, I'm back. I just got a little water because I just want to rinse off any dust. And this is what they would do at the sink, is a nail brush. Just gently clean the hands. And we're just doing the one so I can show you in the video. Alright, that was that. We're going to dry these. Okay. And the manual, it says use a paper towel to like dry the nail. Okay, so we're going to do one hand because for time's sake, and I'm using our Super Shine Gel Top Coat. And you apply it 2 coats and very quickly. So this is the first coat. First coat will turn out to be like a tiny bit matte when it dries. But they're looking really good and very shiny. Love this look. Dip is just fantastic. Now we're going to go back over and do a second coat to give it that high gloss shine. And then it takes about 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes to completely dry and be cured, which then we can apply oil afterwards around the cuticle and any hand cream. So you want to wait till the end to apply that and make sure that you're completely dried and cured first, or you'll ruin your dip. Okay, and that one's done. Beautiful and shiny, and we're going to set it aside. Thank you, and with the magic of video, we'll be right back. All right, folks out there in video land, just to let you know, we did do the final sealer. I cleaned them off with water and a nail brush at the station because she was getting a facial. And then I did 2 coats of our red cap gel top coat for the S&S, and they came out beautifully. Also, I just applied our solar oil, and then I'm going to apply some hand cream, and then we're finished and ready to go. So thank you for joining in today. I hope that you enjoyed this video tutorial. And remember, we'll see you at the spa.